Hello and welcome. So today we're going to be talking about changing the unchangeable. And so, wow. So there's a lot of energy around that because how can you change something that's unchangeable? Well, actually, we're looking at changing something that just seems unchangeable. Ooh, and if you've been dealing with something for a long time, whether it's something around your personality, a challenge you've been moving through, a body health condition, if you've been having it for a long time, it can just seem like that's just part of who you are. That's always the way it's going to be, and there's nothing you can do to change it. Woo, yeah, there's a lot of energy on that because there's so many of those things we have decided that. And when you have been moving through something for a long time or just had something for a long time, it is a little bit harder or a lot harder to think that it can potentially change. But one of the things I found is that for anything that even seems like it's 100% physical, 100% out of your control, there's a part of it that's energetic. That energetic part makes up 10 to 90% of anything that's feeling stuck, fixed, or unchangeable. So what that really means is that even if something is 100% physical, there is this 10% that's actually energetic. So nothing is actually 100% physical or 100% real or fixed. There's always a little part that we can change and shift. And sometimes that part is up to 90%. So what we want to do is just to do some energetic change, energetic releasing work to remove, change, and shift that at least 10%. So for this next part, I'm going to invite you to choose one thing that you would like to change and shift. Now, for many of us, we probably have multiple things we would like to change and shift in our lives. Now, what can happen though is when you don't focus in on one thing, it kind of spreads out your ability to create change, and that change gets so diluted, it often is really hard to see and it just doesn't create what you would like it to create. So the first tip about changing something that seems unchangeable is to focus in on one thing. Ugh. Yeah, I know that can be really hard. And the part is we don't have to focus in on this forever. It's just like, what is one thing that you would like to change and shift? Ooh, and then let's focus in on that particular one. Yeah, so everywhere it feels like there's so many things or there's multiple things that you would like to change all at once. Ugh. Everything that brings up, do you choose to release, let go, and or allow all that to be removed from your reality now? Woo, yes, I choose that. Out, 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 release, release, release. Yeah. So the first tip is to focus on one thing at a time. And then the second is anywhere you've decided it is fixed, it's unchangeable. Ooh, that locks it in place. That prevents it from changing because you are the strongest energetic force in your life. Yeah, it doesn't always seem that way. It feels like sometimes like outside forces, outside energies can be stronger, but they never are stronger energetically than you are. And the part is that because you're the strongest energetic force in your life, if you believe something can't be changed, you cannot change it. So the first trick around all this stuff, or the first step really, is to remove that place where it feels 100% fixed and it's unchangeable. So like I mentioned before, is that everything has an energetic component. So even if something feels like it's 100% physical or 100% fixed, there's a 10% place, at least 10%, that we can create change around to lighten something up. So would it be awesome to be able to 100% change something that you would like? Whoa, yes, it totally would. But what's the next best thing? Well, the next best thing is to change it as much as we can. Oh, yes. So what we want to do is once again pick that one area that you want to work on, that you would like to change, and then what is everything that you've decided about this? Ugh, yikes, everything that you've decided about this. Release, release, release. And so what we did is we didn't look at exactly what you've decided. We're just like removing energy, removing stuck places that lock it in place. And this is what happens is for any thoughts you have, there's energetic components around it that lock it in. Like I mentioned about how any challenge or anything that feels unchangeable has a bit that's change that we can change. Well, the thing is the first part was removing all those energies. So, what is everything you've decided about this? Ooh, and everything that is release, 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 release. And what we're doing is we're releasing energies and emotions, and those emotions lock those beliefs in place. So you can think about it as if you didn't have very much attachment or if you didn't have emotions that come up around a specific word, a specific topic, a specific thought, it's really easy to change those. But when you have emotions that are attached to a specific thought or belief, those emotions lock it in place. So, what we're doing this in the first step is just to release as many of those emotions as we can. We don't put any significance on how many you have to remove because often removing even just the smallest amount starts to unlock it so you can create changes and shifts that go even further and go deeper. So, what's everything else that comes up around this particular topic? Woo. Everything that is release, release, release. Oh. And the next part that comes up is we want to think about removing any judgments you have about this. Blech. Yikes. And if you followed me for any time before, you know that judgments are an energetic weight that you have to carry around with you all the time. Blech. Yikes. And those judgments lock in and keep things from changing because you have to push through that judgment to then start creating energetic change on something. And this is another part that comes up for us when we're trying to change something, especially something that we believe is fixed and unchangeable, is that we have judgments about ourselves for even having that. Whoa. Yep. So all the judgments you have about yourself, everywhere all those self-critical judgments, judgments that are putting you down because you have this challenge in the first place. Woo. Woo. Yikes. You choose to release, let go, and or allow all that to be removed from your reality now. Ah, yes, I choose that. Release, release, release. Let go, let go, let go. And I think you can start to see how you already have a lot more peace around when you even think about that challenge that you have or that thing that you would like to change, that things feel so much easier, so much lighter. And that's the first step that starts to create that change. And in the membership course, and in that specific class I talked about, I go through, I think it's like 8 different steps, 8 different energetic steps that you can use to create even more change on something that previously seemed that it was unchangeable. And if it's something that you're interested in, to learn more about your energetic powers, to learn more about how you can create changes and shifts, leave a comment below or send me a message, and I'm happy to chat with you to see if this membership course would be a good fit for you and on your empowerment journey. Okay, let's do one more thing. So we talked about those 2 things. So what is everything that you've decided having this challenge or experience means? Ooh, everything that is release, release, release. Let go, let go, let go. And what is everything you've decided about you? What it means about you because you even have this challenge or this thing you would like to change in the first place. Ugh. Everything that is release, release, release. And now that we've done some energetic shifts about what we believe, the beliefs you have about this, what change can you have around this challenge or experience right here, right now? Ugh. And everywhere it seems like you can't have a change around this, do you choose to release, let go, and or allow all that to be removed from your reality now? Ah, yes, I choose that. Release, release, release. Out, 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 out. Banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish. Woo. And one of the other parts, which you'll learn about in this course if you take it, is that we often want to create huge change around something that's unchangeable. Woo, yikes. Yeah. And while we would really like that, sometimes wanting that huge amount of change prevents the smaller amount of change from happening. So, what's the smallest amount of change we can create here today on this challenge or experience? Ooh. And do you choose to have that smallest amount right here, right now? And once again, there's this judgment, there's this resistance like, well, I don't want the smallest amount of change, I want the largest amount of change. But what happens is what we first have to do is create the smallest amount of change. And then you can create a larger amount of change. You can think of it like trying to open a can or a jar that's really hard. Um, the part is the hardest part is that first little bit that you're turning and twisting, and as soon as it's gone a little bit, then it's easy. Same thing like if you give that can or jar to somebody else and they do it and they go, oh, it was easy. Well, because you did a lot of work to help start unlocking it. So what we want to do is first create the smallest amount of change, and then we can ask for a larger amount of change. So what's the smallest amount of change that we can create together around this challenge or experience? And you choose to have that change right here, right now. Ooh, yes, I choose that. Change, 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 change. Ooh. Shift, 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 shift. Ooh. And now that we've created that smallest amount of change, uh, what's more what's a contributed amount of change that we can change right here, right now? And once again, we don't want to go for this huge amount. We're asking for what contributive amount of change. That's a way of asking for our energetic awareness to automatically give us as much as we can. But when we say as much as we can, that creates this judgment that once again will create a limitation and resist the change. So we just ask for a contributive amount of change around this topic. So, what's a contributive amount of change you can have around this topic or this experience? And you choose to have that contributive change to you and your body's authentic advantage right here, right now. Ah, yes, I choose that. Change, 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 change. Shift, 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 shift. Release, release, release. Awesome. So that was really powerful, but it was actually just a small sample of what actually happens in that full class, that full course. So if you're interested in having even more change, leave a comment below and or send me a message and I'm happy to chat with you more. So thanks again for joining with me and going on this amazing experience today, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye for now. So I hope you really enjoyed this energetic change and these shifts that you're having. Yeah, I'm just done.